The deduction isn't new money. It's money you have to prove. 4 new federal deductions arrived with the One Big Beautiful Bill: qualified tips, qualified overtime, interest on a new car loan, and one for people 65 and over. And tax year 2026 is the first year your W-2 reports tips and overtime separately at all, under 2 brand new Box 12 codes, TP and TT. Last year nobody was asked to keep the record. This year the record is the deduction. Last spring the question was everywhere: where's my overtime on my W-2? For tax year 2025, there was no separate reporting requirement. The box did not exist yet. Meet the sample file that ships inside. Marisol Vega is shipped sample data, not a customer. A single filer, one dependent, $61,000 of modified adjusted gross income. Her dashboard, $14,986 of new deductions captured, worth $1,798.32 of federal tax at her 12% marginal rate. This is what proving it looks like. 72 shifts logged, $10,458 of qualified tips, and $2,016 of automatic service charges kept out on purpose, because a mandatory gratuity added to a bill generally is not a qualified tip. 42% of the $25,000 cap used. Chapter 1. The most common error out in the wild. Marisol was paid $9,418.97 of overtime across 30 weeks and 287 hours over 40. The deduction is not that number. Only the FLSA premium, the half of time and a half, qualifies, $3,139.67. The rest is straight time pay, ordinary wages, already taxed, not deductible. The gap is $6,279.30, what you would overclaim by putting total overtime pay on the return. Her qualified premium is 25% of the $12,500 cap. Chapter 2. Each of the 4 has its own cap and its own phase-out, and the machinery differs. Tips and overtime hold until $150,000 of modified AGI for a single filer, then step down by whole thousands, rounding down. Car loan interest starts at $100,000 and comes off at $200 per thousand or part of 1,000, rounding up. The senior deduction starts at $75,000 and comes off as a flat 6% of the excess. Chapter 3. Because that car rule rounds up, the threshold is a cliff, not a slope. At exactly $100,000 of modified AGI, the total is $14,986. At $100,001, $1 extra dollar, the car deduction falls from $1,388 to $1,188, and the total lands at $14,786. $200 of deduction for $1 of income, $24 of real federal tax at her 12% bracket. Chapter 4. 2026 is the first year Box 12 codes TP and TT exist. The first year any payroll system has had to compute them. Her restaurant reported $10,458 of tips in code TP, which matches her log. Her warehouse reported $2,569.67 of qualified overtime in code TT. Her log says $3,139.67. The W-2 is $570 light. $570 of deduction at stake, $68 of federal tax, one employer to chase. And notice how careful the file is. Ask payroll for their calculation in writing before you assume either side is wrong. Then ask for a corrected W-2, a Form W-2C. You can only have that conversation in February if you kept the log in January. Chapter 5. Car loan interest is a gate before it is a number. 8 yes or no tests. New, not used. The loan originated after December 31st, 2024. Final assembly in the United States. Weight rating under 14,000 pounds. Personal use. A first lien. A purchase, not a lease. And a VN you can report. Fail 1 and the deduction is 0. Used cars, Leases and vehicles not finally assembled in the United States get nothing. Hers passes all 8, so $1,387.97 of interest counts. And her senior line is 0 on purpose. That $6,000 deduction belongs on her mother's own return. 3,478 formulas across 14 connected tabs. Before filming, the workbook was recalculated clean, 0 formula errors, and passed 493 out of 493 independent math checks. Every screen in this video is that real file. Now the part that matters most. This is a planning tool. It is not tax, legal, or financial advice. All 4 deductions apply to tax years 2025 through 2028, and then they sunset. And no tax on tips or overtime is a deduction, not an exemption. FICA still comes out of your paycheck, and your state usually still taxes the money. Nothing here promises you any refund or any outcome. Confirm your own numbers with a tax professional and at irs.gov. Put your shifts, your overtime weeks, your loan, and your income into the warm cells, and you get one number for the 4 new deductions, and the record that proves it. The Command Center is $25.97, one-time, free lifetime updates, Excel, and Google Sheets. Keep the record now. Claim it in April. The link is in the description.